plan and approach to dealing with infrastructure projects. I would meet with my department staff, and we would rank projects looking at three criteria. Number one, does this project affect where people live? Number two, does this project affect where people work? And number three, does this project fix something that's making Jackson look bad? That I would rank projects based on those three criteria and try to push the money out into the streets of Jackson, looking at those three things. Another thing that I would do upon taking office is, we often talk about businesses adopting schools. I'm of the opinion that it's time for the city of Jackson to adopt our school district, that we have got to take some of our city workers, and if they are a parent of a child going to JPS, give them time to go into the school and be in the school with their children. Imagine the impact it would have if all the fathers who were JPS parents got to spend an hour or two each month in their children's school. So I definitely make that one of my initial priorities. Finally, I think it's time that we change and radically shake up our economic development team. That we have people that are refusing to do business with Jackson because they don't have an easy way to get permits. They feel as though small businesses are being ignored. I would shake up our small businesses so we can get some economic development out in the community for you.
Well, stay right there for the closing statements and remarks from each of the mayoral candidates. We will be right back. Joined by the Jackson Chamber of Commerce in hosting candidates for the city's top job. This is the last that we will hear from the candidates as they will give their closing statements tonight. Earlier, they drew straws to determine the order, and tonight we're going to begin with Mrs. Barrett-Simone.
Thank you, Maggie. Let me say first, thank you all for this evening. I think it was very informative and helpful to the voters. I'll begin by saying I'm a big believer in the principle that life, for the most part, happens one-on-one. It's about relationships and trust and integrity. It's about being able to look someone in the eye and tell them what you're going to do and know that they'll believe you because you've done it before. I've done it before, and as mayor, I will do it again. I have a proven record of development and economic progress across Ward 7. I've worked successfully with 5 very different mayors with totally different styles. I've nurtured and maintained real friendships with men and women from across the city, from all walks of life. I've seen projects through from the beginning to completion, and I've served as a bridge between individuals and groups, helping them to find common ground. I've gotten things done for 29 years in Ward 7, and as mayor, I will continue to get things done for this entire city. I have no question that Jackson has a very bright future. We can see it just a short distance away. But it's going to take everyone getting on board. It's going to take every neighborhood, every business, every person working together. I humbly ask for your vote for mayor on April 8th. Thank you all.
Next, we'll hear from Mr. Priester.
Thank you. I want to begin by thanking the moderators and Ms. Wade and Jackson State for having us this evening. I also want to thank you, the viewing audience, that this is a historic moment for Jackson, that we have great things ahead of our city, but we're not through the gate. I'm asking humbly to be your next mayor because I have both the ability and the vision to bring new tools to change the city of Jackson. I look around our city and I see the potholes. I see how our educational system is failing. And I promise you to do something better. I promise you that it's time to change the way we do our educational system. That I spent a lot of time with the principal over at Northwest Middle School, one of the only A-rated middle schools we have in Jackson. And I see from her example how we have the ability, if we nurture leadership and we create partnerships between the city and the schools and the parents, that for too long we've forgotten that it's the parents who are the real people who run our schools. It's the parents who know best how to educate their kids. I promise to change the way JPS partners with parents so parents become allies in their children's education. With respect to crime, it's real. It's not perceived. It's real. And it's time we use some new tools, such as predictive policing, but also community policing, to change the way we manage our police department. With economic development, the backroom deals are over. It's time for us to focus on development that helps the people, the women, the minorities, everyone in our city. I'm committed to bring the new tools to change Jackson, and I ask for your vote for Melvin Priester Jr.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Mr. Lumumba.
First, I'd like to thank our moderators, and I'd like to thank our host, Jackson State University, for this opportunity. Listen, I want to start by telling you some of my experience. I too was one of the attorneys for the Scott sisters. I was one of the primary attorneys who helped defend the integrity of the first black sheriff's race. I've been organizing my entire life. I can remember organizing against the death and the murder of Andre Jones, who was hung in jail, and it was accused of being a suicide. I can remember organizing against the murder of Johnny Griffin, who was shot in Georgetown while trying to move drug dealers out of his neighborhood. Listen, I'm not a politician. I actually had a conversation with my father where he tried to convince me to get into electoral politics. And I told him that I was recently married. I had a practice where I felt that I could fulfill a useful need for the people, and it was not my objective. But February 25th changed that. It changed it because I realized that I was the best person situated to move the city forward while I was holding my father's hand. I'm not running on my name. I'm not running on emotion. I'm running on understanding. I understand the principles which must guide us, which must lead us, the principle which incorporates the people in the process. When we put forth the People's Platform in 2008, which I helped co-author, we stated that we were running on an agenda of compassion, justice, and human rights. That's our story, and we're sticking to it, right? And I also, think about the Word. I think about the Bible and some of the stories that are talked about in the Bible. And we know from the Word that Moses led the children of Israel through the wilderness. But it was Joshua who led them to the promised land. And so I ask you on April 8th for your vote and for your prayers. And together we will make Jackson right.
Mr. Johnson, you're next.
Thank you. I also would like to thank everybody, the host, the sponsor, the panel, and all of you for being here for this event tonight. I'd like to especially thank the Jackson Chamber of Commerce. And I just like to make a commitment to the Chamber of Commerce because many people don't know, but right now the Jackson Chamber of Commerce is really a committee of the Metro Chamber of Commerce. We need a Jackson Chamber of Commerce to advocate and to develop businesses here in the city of Jackson. A great deal of discussion has been made today about economic development. Some people have said that they are long-time developers. Other people have said that they are a professional developer. We need a professional developer working out of the Jackson Chamber of Commerce for the city of Jackson to bring Jackson jobs to Jackson. My commitment would be to make sure that the city of Jackson helps to subsidize that position. You heard a great deal about what the candidates will do. You've even heard some promises here tonight. But you've only heard one candidate, and that's me give specific examples under my leadership of what has been done to improve the quality of life of citizens here in the city of Jackson. You've even heard that experience doesn't count. But you know, and I know, that experience does count. It particularly counts when you're about to step into being the CEO of a $500 million business. I've run that business before. We've managed the business properly. We made sure that during the recession there were no layoffs in the city of Jackson, no furloughs in the city of Jackson, and we did not raise taxes in the city of Jackson. We built a strong and solid foundation here in our city. I'm asking you again to work with me and allow me to work with you to build on that foundation. So on April 8th, I'm again asking for your prayers and your support and your vote so that Harvey Johnson will become the next mayor of the city of Jackson. Thank you so much for your indulgence.
Senator Warren, we'll hear from you next.
Thank you. And thank you all for coming out tonight. Thanks to all the sponsors of the evening for putting this event together to deal with this very important task. Safe neighborhoods, good streets, clean water. It's something that every Jacksonian and every visitor to the city deserves the right to have. For 2 decades, I've been your state senator, sponsoring and providing legislation like the 1 cent sales tax, which we did without raising your your grocery bill, without raising your water bill, and without raising your prescription drugs. We did the JSU Parkway, the Jackson Convention Center, the Civil Rights Museum, and a new 4-star hotel in downtown Jackson. Now, am I a typical legislator? No, I'm not. As a concerned citizen and as a person in private business, I recruited grocery stores back into our community because we needed them. I've helped build affordable and senior housing, not as a legislator, but as a person in a private business. Now I want to make sure that you can sleep safely in your bed at night. And I also want to make sure that there are no fat cats in Jackson or in Rankin County controlling the politics in Jackson. Let's keep Jackson headed in the right direction by electing a mayor who has the experience and knows how to get the job done. I'm calling on all Jacksonians to join me as we move forward down this road to success. I have the contacts, I have the relationships, I have the experience, I have the track record. Proven leadership, battle-tested, shovel-ready. I'm John Horn, and I know the way forward. I ask you, on April 8th, remember to vote for Mayor, City of Jackson, John Horn. Thank you.
Mr. Garber, we'll hear from you now.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you to the panelists. We appreciate Jackson State University Chamber as well as WFAT. I'm running for mayor of the city of Jackson for several reasons. I'm running for Leonard Terrell. I'm running for John Sledge. I'm running for Trent Stringer. I'm running for Bonnie Borden. I'm running for Jason Gibson. And I know you don't know any of these names. You don't know those names because they're everyday people. They're just like you. And you need a representative in office who understands the needs of everyday people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been said that this race is about leadership. But I submit to you that it's not just about leadership. It's about Which candidate has the heartbeat of this city? I've been in this city all of my life. I've gone through its public school system. I graduated from college and came back and immediately got to work, doing community work, creating football teams and cheer squads, and teaching third grade children, teaching reading labs, coaching football, and coaching track, starting churches, burying people, and counseling folks who have been killed by gun violence. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need leadership who understands and has their hand on the heartbeat of this city. I submit to you that we need leadership who's prepared on day one. We need leadership that can step in and do this job, and do this job effectively with the hearts and the minds of the people in this city who are involved and engaged. I want you to look at the resumes of the people who are sitting here. And I want you to consider who's prepared, who's made promises that haven't been kept. And at the end of the day, I need you to look at the risk and understand that those risks at this point far outweigh the rewards. Ladies and gentlemen, we need a visionary leader. My name is Tony Yarber, and I'm submitting myself to your service as Mayor of the City of Jackson on April 8th.
Next, we'll hear from Mrs. Quinn.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan, to the moderators and to WLBT and the Jackson Chamber of Commerce and Jackson State University. And to you, the audience here, and to the listening audience, the TV audience. I'm Regina Quinn, and I want to be your next mayor. I, for so many years, have looked at the missed opportunities for our city. The missed opportunities, the baseball park in Pearl and a number of other businesses that have just lost and left the city of Jackson. And I decided for me, enough was just simply enough. Yes, there are 3 lawyers sitting here at this table, but the lawyer that has the germane experience in terms of being a lawyer that understands business and how to put deals together and have negotiated deals, that's me. In addition to that, I understand also the need for small business development within this city. I've spent my life, my professional life, working with small businesses, and that would be a key focus of my administration, and particularly the women. Women have not had the kind of input and participation in government contracts with the city of Jackson that they would have. I want to also show you in terms of the leadership that I've shown with regard to the local option sales tax. I was a citizen that did not win the election last year, but I stayed in the game. I knew it was critically important for us to get this local option sales tax passed. So I was the one that convinced our late Mayor Chauffeur to move forward with it. You've done your part, Jackson. You voted for that 1% sales tax. And now it's time for the city of Jackson to do is. Women need equal pay for equal work, and to be able to be at the table to get what is rightfully ours, because if that is done, then the poverty rate in Mississippi will be split in half if women are allowed that opportunity. Thank you. I appreciate your vote on April the 8th, and I would be the best mayor that the city would have ever had. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, with that, at this time, we'd like to thank all of our candidates. Thank you so much for participating tonight. And to our viewers who are tuning in to the Jackson mayoral debate. The special election, again, will be held on Tuesday, April 8th. You've heard that a lot tonight. If a runoff is needed, voters will return to the polls April 22nd. And we'll have runoff debate. That runoff debate will happen April 17th. On behalf of Jackson State University, the Jackson Chamber of Commerce, and WLBT, I'm Maggie Wade. Thank you so much, and good night.